On today's wondrous episode of Marketing Machines and Mischief, worldwide ad spend to hit $1.14 trillion this year. Uber announces Uber Intelligence, a data platform for brands. And the head of YouTube is named CEO of the Year by Time Magazine. Let's jump in. Welcome to Beetle Bob's favorite marketing and advertising show. I'm Matthew Newell.
And I'm Chris Stone, and this is the show that, in spite of not having mop tops, we're going to give you a ticket to ride marketing intel that actually matters, whether you're running your first campaign or your 500th. Matthew, will you let it be?
I will always let it be. Here is what you need to know from the industry that is obsessed with burning their mark into your skin. That's why they call it branding. Today's lead headline, WPP Media, a subsidiary of Lumen Industries, is putting the final figure on global ad spending that's across all platforms all the time at $1.14 trillion. That's an 8.8% year-over-year increase and is higher than their previous estimate of 6%. Also note that looking ahead, they're predicting a 7.1 increase in 2026. There are two main drivers of this information. One is that the tariffs didn't cause as much disruption as had been predicted. Don't tell that to your grocery store. And two, that AI spending is approaching the speed of a tipsy sailor with Bernard Arnault's Amex at the One Horse Saloon. It just shows that our jobs as marketers and advertisers are not going anywhere. It's competitive as out there, and we need smart, thoughtful marketers like you to keep it going in the right direction. Chris?
$1 trillion in ad spend. What? Half of it's probably going to chatbots, writing worse copy than your intern. Cool.
Not my intern. My intern's pretty bad.
Okay.
Next up in our marketing queue, Uber has announced Uber Intelligence, a data platform for brands that turns ride and delivery patterns into marketing insights. This data will blend location data with audience behavior with smarter ad spend. Part of me is terrified that my 11 p.m. DoorDash ice cream shake order has more value to anyone but me. But on a serious note, Chris, this is a good example of how big tech companies are wringing every single penny out of every transaction on their app. When you ordered your kitty litter, what credit card you paid with, what brand you picked. Literally, people are willing to pay money for that information. What a romantic world we live in, isn't that right?
Meow. Nothing says romance like monetizing your shame-based purchasing decisions at midnight. Matthew, at least your cat's getting premium kitty litter while the Uber's getting your premium data.
That's exactly right. Our final headline, Neil Moyhan was named Time's CEO of the Year. I'm sure Neil, if that is his real name, is a great guy, but this was a little bit of a surprise to me because YouTube is a pretty well-established video platform. It's not like he's been Red Lobster's Damola Molakun. That guy's just killing it. Time notes that YouTube's expansion into vertical-based shorts and AI tools have outpaced their competitors in an already competitive business. It's all true. But it's worth noting that Neil took over YouTube from Susan Wojcicki in 2023, the highly respected CEO of the business, who was an instrumental voice in its purchase by Google in 2006.
You know, Matthew, nothing screams visionary leadership like successfully copying TikTok 2 years late, calling it innovation. Give the man a trophy. All right, it's time for Real Recognize Real. And this one is from Samsung, and it's a Christmas ad out of the UK. So there's this little girl, Laura. She just moved to a new house, doesn't know anybody, and she's basically watching other kids play outside while she's stuck inside with her imaginary friend, Milo. Just brutal. But here's the thing. Instead of just, sad kid gets tablet. Samsung actually did something smart. Grandfather sits down with her and they use this Galaxy AI drawing assist tablet thing to turn her imaginary friend into an actual drawing. And then on Christmas morning, it comes to life. And suddenly she's got the guts to go outside and make real friends. Director Ben Wolf said that they wanted to show AI in real family life. And honestly, they absolutely nailed it. No weird robot takeover vibes, no creepy tech dystopia, just a kid and her grandpa using a tool to help our imagination do its thing. It feels genuine, it's warm. Like somebody remembered, Matthew, what being lonely as a kid actually feels like. Samsung even did research on this, Matthew, showing that age 6 is when kids' imaginations are at their peak. So instead of trying to shove a product down our throats, they just leaned into wonder. Let the story breathe. Look, we've all seen these AI ads that feel like a nightmare wrapped in corporate speak. This is not that. It's a 1-minute spot that respects your time, tells a real story, and doesn't make you feel dead inside. Kind of like this show. The tech supports the story, doesn't try to be the story, and it's super rare. Real recognized real, and this one earned it.
Chris, I love that research. I'd never heard that before, that kids at 6 are their most imaginative. I'm actually going to follow up on that later on today. That's really interesting. I never heard that before.
6 or 7, actually.
If you ask them, it's 6 or 7, but the research says 6. All right, Chris, for my real recognized real, just when about everyone on the planet has agreed that mass consumption of tea is unapologetically, but very politely owned by the British, Bigelow Tea comes along trying to knock that special relationship out of the water. As their tea packaging and a new ad points out, they've been a U.S. maker of tea since 1945, and constant comment, which many tea snob circles, including mine, is a top 5 blend of all time, comes to us from Bigelow and their Connecticut, United States headquarters. The ad literally says, "So America," in all caps. What I love about this ad and this marketing angle is that they're saying that their tea is better because it's American, not simply in spite of it. Lipton, Tetley, Twinings, Dilma, and Tecan, all made outside the US, all doing incredibly well, and are sometimes to be thought more authentic. But this is a big swing for US made tea. Chris, I'm hoping that this breaks out into the great tea wars of 2026, because that's really the last thing on our planet to go unhinged. And I may not be here for it, but I've got a hot, constant comment to sip as everything goes down. Real recognize real, my man.
Oh, you have spilled the tea today, and I love this. The Great Tea Wars. I mean, what are we looking at? Darth Lipton versus, I don't know, Princess Tetley?
C3PH2O. I don't know.
Hey.
I don't know. I was just right. All right. Well, let's land this plane. We are going to play our over under game. I put out a scenario. Chris provides the over under. We all try to get on the right side of the call. We're going to stick with tea, with Bigelow Tea. Their constant comment is truly a dream in a tea bag. They first started their operations in 1945, but the materials weren't there for their foil wrap tea bags yet.
Oh,
that's what they really consider their competitive advantage, besides the taste, of course.
Yeah.
What year was it then, Chris, when foil wrapping was introduced?
They started in 1945. I'm going to say it had to be before the 70s, right? I'm going to say over under 1969.
Woo! I like the guess.
Over under 1969. Put your answers, your guesses in the comment. Don't cheat. Don't cheat on the tea.
Bob, I'm going to say $1, please.
All right, that's it for this week's Marketing, Machines, and Mischief. Please hit the subscribe button, the thumbs, the bells, and whatever else these video platforms stick in front of you to click. But before we leave, it's time for
a little lesson learned. We'll see you next week. But until then, we've got our heads and we've got our hearts. Marketers, use right what's in the middle. It's not just all up here. We got to go with our guts, too.